what's up, guys? I'm Bobby, your host for GNP's Nerd Off. This is episode 4, I feel like it is, right? I'm not counting, I don't care. But this one actually is a particularly special one because now we're going to be doing Disney. This is like, I've actually been waiting for this one because we've been doing a lot of comic book stuff, and obviously you guys know Sean over here, who is our reigning champion. So yes, live it up, man, because who knows what's going to happen today.
Oh, I'm going to lose. That's crazy. That's pretty much how it is.
We got some new people on the panel today who are Disney aficionados. These guys came to bring it. There's like anger in their eyes. I've never seen anything like it before. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Shana. And I'm Emily.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys, like, trust me, before we started filming, these guys already got, like, even when I sent the questions, there was this whole, like, Disney, like, tiff, just because one question was asked. And I'm the one, like, I'm the host, so I was like, oh, shit, I turned off my phone because I was just not ready to do it. But, like, I really like the energy I got just from that. So I'm excited. I think you guys are excited, too. This is a straightforward thing, but just for you at home who've never seen this before, I don't know why you haven't, but here it is. The way this works is I'm judge and host, so I get to make the decision based off of the fights here, everyone's arguments. We're going to keep it within 10 minutes. Once again, each round is 10 minutes. And we have 4 rounds for you guys today. We're going to be discussing a lot of cool Disney what-if questions and pitting up certain opinions against other ones. Everyone has their answers from since before. And we're just going to be, I mean, it's another Nerd Off, but Disney themed. So if you're out there, if you love Disney, stay tuned and watch every round. But you also have an option to skip to specific rounds that you might like. And in the description box below, we'll have the questions associated with those timestamps. So look out for that. But yeah, you guys are ready?
Born.
Yes. Wow. She didn't even look up. Because you know she was thinking about those.
Yes.
All right. So without any further ado, we're about to start with round 1. Okay. I love this so much. We're gonna start with Sean, and we're gonna come down here, and after that we're gonna alternate from that point on. So round 1, already super cool. Which Disney animated movie would be the best world to live in? Now, to preface before you answer, the way this is, it's the idea you're going to be in that world. You're being put into that. You get to live in that world now. So it's not necessarily adapting the character, but you are now in this Disney animated world, specifically an animated place. So now you can answer.
So I opted for the kind of arcade video game world of Wreck-It Ralph.
I opted for Inside Out as one of the fields.
And I opted as Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nice. Okay, guys. Let's start.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
You picked Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that specifically Halloween Town?
Well, the world would be all of them. It's not just the town. And so, yeah, I picked all of them. And that's due to the best part of the year is holidays. So you get to literally travel any holiday you want. And as seen in the movie, you can, Santa, Jack does it, even Zero does it, and he's not really so much as a main character, can travel to Earth. So there's still other aspects of you're not stuck in the holidays. You can go visit Earth at other times. There's all different things that go on. So that's why really I picked that. And to go on your Wreck-It Ralph, I get the video game thing, but there's too many problems, I would say, with that, because you can only travel at night. If you travel to a different game that isn't your own, you die. So there's a lot of danger in that. And if your game gets unplugged, if your game gets outdated, you get unplugged, which means you die.
Not entirely. As the case is with a couple of the characters, there's that little hub world after the games turn off, and that's no different from, like, real life and having a job. Like, Wreck-It Ralph, yeah, he spends his time during the day from whenever the arcade opens to whenever it closes, going, I'm gonna wreck it, and blah, blah, blah. So you'd be stuck doing whatever game, but that's no different than, like, having a job. Going to a job that you don't really like, going through the whole thing, and then, like, you go, and you hang out with your friends in that weird little hub world.
Yeah, so you're saying that your ideal world is life?
No, because
yes,
I get to hang out
during
with
the day,
Ryu
and then you hang out at night.
Ralph and Sonic.
And you go home and play video games anyway.
But now I get to live in them.
But honestly, even on top of that, even though it's like how you compared it to a job, if you get laid off and your job ends, you don't die. You look for another job. In these scenarios, you die.
The villain of the movie did that. He became King Candy. He jumped into another game. Sure, it sucked for Sarah Silverman's character, but you know what? Sucks to suck.
But for a moment, they ceased to exist. They were in
He didn't.
a
He
space
just
of
jumped
nothing.
into a different game.
But he was able to pull the plug on everyone else.
No, he was able to pull the plug on her. The game, the only reason that Wreck-It Ralph's game almost gets pulled is because of the fact that he doesn't go back to his game. If your game gets pulled, then yeah, jump into another game. Run out of the game before it gets unplugged. They have a knowledge that the game is going to be unplugged.
Alright, well, besides... Okay, if your argument is that, you know, it's a job, and if you get laid off, you die, I guess that's cool with you, but back to...
You don't die, you just go in that little pub world.
Back to why I think Nightmare Before Christmas is so much better, is because, first of all, it's not just... You get to do different things each year. So even though it's the same holiday, like, yeah, Santa every year, he goes and he gives toys. Yes, that's the same, but it's different toys every year. It's constantly something new. The whole premise of Halloween Town is he's constantly trying to think of the next thing to do for Halloween. So it's always something different while having at least it's not the same exact thing over and over.
But is it
No.
actually new? Because either way, you're looking forward to that specific holiday each time. So if you're in Christmas land, you're looking forward to Christmas every year. You spend all your days playing with snowballs, fights, snowmen, making Christmas toys because you're working up until that day in Halloween Town. You're making sure that Halloween is that one extra level above than what you had done the year before.
But look at Jack. Jack jumps from every holiday. Like, he jumps back and forth to Christmas, so it's not necessarily that
Well,
you have
But
to...
he got in trouble,
Yes, but
kind
you
of,
don't-
for doing it.
But you don't have to
He
be
screwed
the
up
main
Christmas.
person. I'm not saying I would be Santa Claus in Christmas land. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're somebody who's side and, you know, 360 days out of the year, you are Christmas land, and then a few days a year you go and you travel a little bit and you get something different, I think it's nice to have that variety.
So I feel like both of you guys, like your choices, I love both of your choices, but I feel like they're both repetitive in a way. At least in Inside Out, if you're an emotion, you're living in the body of someone else, but every day isn't repetitive. Like, you get to choose how their day goes. You get to make their dreams. You get to make their reality. You get to go to their different personality lands. Like Wreck-It Ralph, you work the whole entire time that your arcade is open, and then you go to your hub. Nightmare Before Christmas, you go to each land, okay, and when you get bored with one, you go to the other. But either way, it's still that same constant, like, you only have those choices.
Yeah, but the problem with being a emotion is you're stuck... is... I'm not even going to say what I want to say to that.
That's what I'm looking for.
Grammar!
Is that, yeah, you're saying ours are repetitive, but you're stuck feeling that way. Like, yes,
But how do you know if they don't
the characters
like it?
slightly did feel other emotions, but imagine being fear. You're stuck being surprised or scared all the time. Personally living with anxiety,
living on the edge of your seat, like...
But it's not an exciting type. Like,
hey, how do you know? You're not that emotion.
Fear can be exciting. I'm not saying that it can't, but fear is the idea of, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to say, like...
Not true. It's the fear of the unknown.
It depends on what kind of fear.
But regardless
I have a fear of falling. It's not an unknown fear. It's
so how about I make you fall right now?
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, if the emotion, fear in my head is constantly being afraid of falling, I would hate that life. That would suck.
Regardless of what emotion you are, if that's who you are, that's your passion. Your life is your passion. You basically just manifest destiny. You've gotten everything that you want to be in life, and now you get to play an RPG game your entire career. You get to control someone else's life.
But you also got to deal with all the other emotions.
Yeah, you have to deal, like, when
Okay, so when someone else wants to take over, okay, peace out. I'm going to Goofy Land, and I'm going to go ride the roller coaster.
But it's also been shown when they go into, like, the mother and the father's head that eventually a particular emotion is going to rise to the top. And you can definitely see in particular in the mom's head, like, it's not necessarily a nice place if you're, depending on what emotion you are.
Yeah.
Hers was like, she didn't seem to have a happy head. If you were one of the happy emotions...
And the whole
right, but that's what I mean. It depends on what emotion you are. Just because...
Exactly,
like,
so regardless of the
particularly if you're in
emotion,
Riley's head, if we take that as like the world, not just somebody, but Riley in particular, eventually one of those emotions is gonna, kind of become the dominant idea, and some get pushed to the side.
But either way, the main aspect of that movie is that the emotions work together to create new everything.
But the whole first half of the movie is Sadness being bullied for being who she is. So
Sadness was misunderstood.
It doesn't matter. The whole premise, Riley, for the whole length of the movie was depressed. Like, if you really think about it and think about the movie and how it worked, the human that they were controlling for those some odd years ever since she moved, she became depressed, and the way Disney did it was that they had her run away. But if you were a real-life person, that could have ended a lot worse than just running away, because people were bullying this one emotion. It really, you got to take into consideration which emotion you are, and there's no argument to say, hey, well, it would be great just to control things, but it also would really suck. And if you are like Joy thought she ran everything. She was the greatest. But what about if you're like Disgust or Fear? Like, they were like side characters almost. The two main characters in that were Sadness and Joy. The other, like, Anger was like the comic relief kind of thing. Like, he was on the side. He doesn't do much. So do you really want to live a life that you're told you have to stay on the side? Just like how the adults,
I'm just hearing you like being in
leader.
the spotlight. I don't always like being in the spotlight. Yeah, I'll take control sometimes, but sometimes, okay, I wanna lay back and like let someone else take over because maybe I'm not fit for that position.
I will say this for both of your worlds, you're kind of like rib against the Wreck-It Ralph world. It's like you're stuck doing your job all day, and then you get to hang out. Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, you can theoretically travel to worlds, but it's kind of implied in the movie that Jack and Zero are the first ones to do it, and that it is a year-long job setting up for the next holiday. So you're living whichever holiday world you basically get stuck in. Yeah, you might be able to find free time to jump to one of the other holidays, but most of your life is centered around this one.
Imagine where Pac-Man goes. You get to run around in a circle for
but it doesn't determine their character.
You get to chase someone.
You get to, like, after, like, sure, for most of the movie, Ralph is like, oh my god, I hate Felix.
That's because people despised him.
But
because
by the end of the movie, it's just like, yeah, me and Felix are friends. Just because you're going to work doesn't mean that, like, you can't get some kind of enjoyment out of it.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are too many limitations in your world.
There's limitations in all of them. But
yes, but
I feel like there's
that
less.
Don't end in death. If
Ralph
I go to
still
Christmas
managed
Town,
to
I'm
try-
not gonna die.
But Ralph still managed to try. No, but that's the whole thing. He wouldn't die. His game would get unplugged. If he wasn't in the game, he'd have been. Wow, rude.
Wow, I've never seen that method to stop someone from the time, but yeah, that's wow, that was real. I really like how I never saw it end that way, so that's cool. And I saw your face too. You were waiting. You were like, okay, we're at like,
she wasn't even listening.
Because I wasn't part of it at this point.
It was like 0.8 seconds left. Alright, just for the record, I did catch your final point on that.
Thanks.
That said, okay, wow, this was an interesting round. I like how, like, the seriousness of how you guys, really took it. And I had
Disney is life.
Disney is life. I'm happy someone said it real quick. Hashtag
I've been
Disney
listening
is life.
to all 3 of the albums.
Right. Just to get your...
Since 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh, nice.
Just like I've been in the zone.
Oh, you're psyched for round 2.
Yeah, be prepared.
Well, basically, and I always show my cards at the end when I make my ruling, so you guys understand where I'm coming from when I do it, because I had to. So you are all making very good arguments to your point, and then everyone is actually doing a very good job knocking each other down, which I like the chemistry of this panel because it's like you guys look to be enjoying it. So just like, oh, what that point is.
That's kind of life as it is.
It's not going to stop after this. It's going to go on to tomorrow.
I see it.
It's kind of my existence.
But basically breaking it down for you guys in terms of what I was able to receive in terms of you guys all speaking, while you were all making points sometimes, in the end, not everyone's point was able to come across fully because, just off the bat, You guys did a really good job of tearing down.
Yeah, wow.
It was almost like a
It was
pre-planned double
so
team.
hard because I love
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph
It's a great
so
movie.
much. I would have loved to live in a video game.
But
Bruh.
I mean, the picture that was painted ultimately from the arguments came down to, I mean, obviously the impending death was not a really good, byproduct of living in that world. But you did make it a good point to combat that point. So I don't totally hold that against you. But then in the end, he didn't do enough to convince me that it's not just like a job. Even if you do have that opportunity to travel to like different games or whatever the case is, and with the picture that you painted kind of was along the same lines of having it was almost like a back and forth of which one would be like the better job to have. Almost like you guys were arguing. And then Emily came with like
they're
this,
all jobs.
yeah, and you guys specifically make, because when they pretty much imposed the idea onto you that you would be, obviously you're a video game character,
right?
So if you're taking on any properties of a video game character, then you're basically you're limited by the rules of that video game character.
What I realized I should have said is that there are NPCs, and that the NPCs.
Yeah, had you gone into that, I was waiting for something on that.
I'm not that smart.
No
well, we could
worries.
have told you that.
And they argued against you with the ultimately you would be an emotion, whereas if you were coming from the perspective of, I guess, maybe one of the other side characters are out there, and you made a good point about you don't always have to be in the spotlight, but since you are on the control panel, you are in the head, you are you're a one trick pony in the sense of like you have that one track emotion, so you're limited by that. Emily in the end, she painted a picture of a world where she made apparent twice that she is not a main character in this world of being in the world of Nightmare Before Christmas, and painted a picture of just being like you're a person in this world able to go on vacation.
Exactly.
In whatever holiday you want to go
Best way to go.
That's pretty much how I ended up taking it in. So within that, and just the knocks on you two, Emily gets the point.
You spent the whole time trying to tear me
So,
down.
yeah, you got. I mean, there was a
Bippity
lot of.
boppity boo yeah. Thought of that one.
Yes, that's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. But
Even raise the roof.
great choices though, guys. Great choices though. I really like the answer.